Yeah, Wagwan. Your boy Omi this, you know. Listen, you tune in to IFE Top 10. Don't touch the remote and don't turn off the TV. Yeah? Now watch it. Being from Jamaica, I've always been a lover of music. As you know, we are very musical people. So the influence was always there. But mainly, my dad, because he was a singer-songwriter also. So I grew up around, music and songwriting and all of that. And then, going to Garvey Masio, meeting a lot of my friends there who were also interested in music, and we always wanted to, write and produce and sing, and yeah. And then growing up with that same love, I then met Clifton Specialist Dillon, who, with the help of God, made everything else possible. And how could I not pay homage to Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and people like that? You know what I mean? I mean, they have done it. They have performed on world stage, or stages. You know what I mean? So it's like I was predisposed to it. Being from a country that was so rich with the culture of music. You know, out of many one people, as our motto say, we have so many different influences. But we are still unique in our own right. I actually met Clifton Dillon while I was on training. I was in training at the time, and yeah, he actually heard about me because I used to record with this underground studio, and he actually interviewed a few people who were recording, under the same producers, and they actually told him about me while I was in training, and he asked to meet me in person. Um, that story, I will leave it for his book because he tells it so much better than I do. So, but it was an interesting story, and ever since we got together, there was a chemistry, and he basically adopted me as a son. So it goes way beyond just being an artist, being his artist. You know what I mean? He offers me the guidance that he has offered me surpasses that of a manager. He doesn't owe me any obligation. Um, Felix's input, it was very necessary for me, because it's always good to have an exchange of culture. And I must say that when when Felix came on board, and I've heard several like alternatives to where we could have gone with it. You have different producers, and Felix was one of the stronger ones, and I'm happy that we went in that direction. He was in Europe, so it's like another side of the world. So that was good to expose his culture and mine, you know, in that region. And I think that's what made the whole transition so gone over so well in the US. Peace and quiet. My writing creative process. I would say to have peace and quiet sometimes because I meditate a lot. I have some moments where I have to turn everything off. No television. I have to shut off phones and just disconnect myself for a little bit. Just me and my piano and peace and quiet and serenity. And that's a peace of mind, in general. So that's my creative process. The next thing is to have a lot of inspiration. There are so many inspirational people in the world. I mean, I can't live everything, so it's good to be observant. You talk less and you observe more, and then you will have your topics. The piano was basically self-taught. Yes, I don't know how to read music, but I don't want to keep on saying I don't know how to read music. I actually want to learn music because this is my craft. And my sole aim is to perfect or get better at my craft. So, yeah, definitely, I wanna go learn professionally. Um, I've always believed in myself. That one I can give you. But the I must say that Cheerleader basically set the stage for me, and Cheerleader is one of those songs that it's a make you or break you kind of song because it was so huge. So now to follow this, it can be difficult. But I wasn't when I do music, I do it from my heart. I don't focus on following, because for me, if I have one song that can withstand the test of time and that can influence the lives of so many people around the world, I would say I've done my due diligence, yeah, in the music world. Yeah, man. And here, that's why I also, I'd like to expound on that a little bit. Having other songs that are as good. But at the end of the day, we know that the music industry it's very weird, sometimes because you never know what will catch on, and you'd be surprised to know what actually catch on and what actually gets promoted a lot. So it doesn't necessarily mean the artist is not good or the music is not good, but it's just that it takes a lot of work a lot of work has to go in promoting a song and really get making a song to be what it meet its full potential. When you come and you leave a footprint like that, I mean it's massive, and it's a big shoe to fill. Like, but at the end of the day, what was the primary objective behind you doing music? You get what I'm saying? For me, it's not even about trending yet. I just do it for the love, solely for the love. You know what I mean? People enjoy what you do, and that's the biggest reward. We have to remember that Jamaica just got gained their independence 1962. So we were under the Queen. So there's a lot of exchange in culture where that is concerned. That's why you have so many Jamaicans living in, and so many people coming here to live. So it's like it's not a very hard transition because there's that relationship that exists already. And then once you reach England, it's pretty easy to go all of the other European countries. You know what I mean? So for me, um, taking that road was somewhat natural and organic. And I'm happy to know that but Bob Marley was doing a music that the type of music that was indigenous to Jamaica. So bear that in mind now. Bob Marley was doing the music that was indigenous to Jamaica, which is reggae music. That was unique. You know, for me, doing pop from Jamaica, going in a world where so many pop artists already exist and is competing for that stage. It's some. I'm not saying it was, but it was also difficult for me. So that is something to bear in mind. In the UK, you have a smaller, what you call it, geography, so to speak. So it's like your chances of getting lost in file 13 kind of, it slims down a bit. Especially if you are genuinely talented. You will shine through. And then you have a good team who knows what they're doing, good management. And if you're the type of person who humble yourself and don't get caught up in all the wrong things. Just remember what you're here to do. Well, we called it urban pop at the time. Yeah, urban pop. But there's a lot of crossovers going on now, so I think the lines are a bit blurred between what is urban pop and what is actually pop. But yeah, not just to be an artist. I mean, at the end of the day, you are now a public figure. You're now being looked upon by so many people. You're now an influence to so many people. And I know a lot of people will argue that that's not their responsibility. But hey, guess what, Buster? The truth is that kind of is. You get what I'm saying? Because people want to run up to you, want to hug you, want to touch you, want an autograph. People don't show you that much love if you were not influential in their life. They wouldn't give you that respect. So at the end of the day, I think it's good to have a good personality. Forget about the persona, because at the end of the day, we all know and understand showmanship, and we all know that if you are acting within the capacity of a certain character, then you have to hold that out. If you introduce that to the people, then that's what you'll have to hold on to your entire career. But you have to know that when you come home, Omi stays outside the door and Omar walks through the door. You have to know how to separate the two people. Whether you want to call it an alter ego, whatever you want to call it, it should be a situation where you know how to break down the difference between the two. Where you have trouble is when people when they start believing the fairy tale. They start to become consumed by the character, by the role. That's when they get lost. Yeah. As I stated before, the motto, out of many one people. And having world influence, having so many people coming here to settle down, people, visiting, and you have that, influence coming in. I think that's the mold for greatness, because you have so many different ideas. Now the thing is to know how to channel this idea to get something positive from it, because without proper control of all of this information and all that, it can be disastrous. You understand? But we are an island who we have an identity, and that is something that I'm happy about. Anywhere you go in the world, you say you're Jamaican, it's like there's a different level of respect. There's a certain thing to our walk, there's a certain swag to our talk, the way we talk, the way we behave, the way we act. It's so colorful and so rich with culture that everybody wants to be a part of it, or be associated with it in some way, or learn about it. Yeah, so I say we have a gem. We have to know how to protect that. How do I feel about new artists coming out? I mean, you gave a perfect example. You have Coffee, who's doing it right now. Big ups to her and her journey. And sometimes I see this and I wish that when I see this happen to like new artists, whether they be younger than myself or older, I wish that we would run into each other at some point, where we could have that forum, that platform where we could actually sit down and have a conversation. Because a lot of people are not really exposed to having, somebody who has walked that journey actually sit with them in the same room and have a conversation about what to expect, and how this whole thing works. So a lot of times you find that they have to be winging it. You need some people who are going to tell you the truth to your face. You don't need yes men or yes women around you. That's for sure. Because it's a pretty serious business. You don't want to be out there lost. You need to know what you're there for. You need to hold on to your priorities. Hold on to your what you call it now. You have a moral obligation to yourself. Yeah, so you need, yeah, definitely. If we ever run into each other, whether it be in a dressing room or somewhere, I would love for us to actually have a heart to heart, because sometimes too. I'm not saying that she might not know. Sometimes but to have somebody kind of reinforce it, kind of solidifies, like that this is the truth, this is facts, this is somebody who has done it, and is imparting this knowledge. So yeah, of course. Yeah, coffee, definitely. I'm here if you ever need any advice at all about the whole thing, and I can share some experiences, and I'm sure you have some that you would like to share as well. And the journey continues. One thing is perseverance. You must always have that, and just know what you're for. I get asked the question a lot about where is my Jamaican accent. But what people have to understand in that when somebody is interviewing you, this is an opportunity for information. Yeah, it's an opportunity to get information from the person. No, not everybody in the world knows about me or knows me. I didn't grow up with everybody in my community. I'm being introduced to people. So if I'm being asked questions and I respond or reply to these questions with too heavy of a Jamaican accent, or there's gonna be a breakdown in communication. So that information that could be vital information that could let people in a little bit more and get people more interested just got lost. So I never denied that I'm from Jamaica. I think that's one of the biggest thing being sold right now. I am from Jamaica, little island boy, but at the same time, we have to know the forum that we're in and how to conduct ourselves accordingly. You understand? So yeah, that's my response to that. English, exactly. We actually, yeah. I'm sure everywhere has their own version of patois. You have the Spanish who, Italians. There is the version that you learn in school, and then there's the street version or the country version. So everywhere has their own patois. But at the end of the day, I have to communicate in such a way that people will understand and people will relate and people will get it. you know. So I sometimes I only have 15 minutes to introduce myself. Sometimes five. But I think it's a situation where, and Miss Lou promoted it best. You know what I mean? So listen, you shouldn't embrace the culture, and of course you should. You know what I mean? But at a certain age, a child needs to know the distinction. They need to know the difference of when and where to really do this. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to come across you walk into you walk into an interview. You're being interviewed for a very high position, and you start speaking patois. It doesn't go over well with your interviewer. You might not get the job because they don't think that you know any better. So you have to know how to separate it. So I think that's mainly what a lot of people try to reinforce in their children, not necessarily not to embrace the Jamaican culture. Yes, I have heard things in the media that was not true. Actually, it's nothing bad. I heard that I was raised in New York at one point in my life. No, mm, mm, nothing of the sort. Just got a visa when when I actually started my music career in 2012. So nah, nothing of the sort. Grand Cayman is where I grew up a part of my life. Yeah. Well, so far we have been quite a number of writing sessions. We've released a few singles. One of which is a collaboration with an Italian artist called Giussi Ferreri. And it has on it Takaji and Ketra. Those are the two producers who did the song. That song is now certified 3 times platinum. Yeah, so we are now currently celebrating another platinum record. Um, I have like 3 other releases solo. As long as I'm with you. What's the other one? Better for you and Masterpiece. And those have been getting a few good reviews. A lot of my fans have been like, long overdue. We've been waiting to see something, and thank you, and that makes me feel good. It makes me feel appreciated. In the next 5 years, where do I see myself career-wise? I think every artist aspires to have like longevity in their career. So it's not just having a moment and that's it. It's about having several moments. You know what I mean? It's about leaving that legacy where you did something with your life and it has meaning, it has substance, you know, and a lot of people can look up to it and you can be proud of it. And it's here long after you're gone. You know, so I think that's what most artists aspire to have. A few collaborations, definitely. You know, working with other producers, you know, actually, you know, writing for other people. Yeah, you know, you have your name. At the end of the day, it's music. That's what I do. I can write for anybody. That's not even an issue, and I'm not being cocky. You know, it's I can write for anybody because um, I travel a lot. I meet so many people. There are so many different life stories and situations out there, and I'm aware of it. And then I have that kind of brain that immediately starts to write a story. Every time I hear something, I start documenting it in my brain. I start putting it into context and I start packaging it. And it comes out in the form of a song. So that's how I know I would do well to work with just about anybody, you know. Um, I don't do well with self-absorbed people and people who are arrogant. I don't really do well with working with people like that. For me, I deal with, I am humbled being in the presence of fellow writers and producers and creative people, and I respect other people's creativity. So I expect the same from, you know, I don't deal with all of that. If you're on that, then you stay left and I stay right, yeah? Um, well, Chris Brown is a youth that I rate. I think that would be a good one. Um, I hope to do some with coffee. Let's say that. Let's put that out there. Let's start from here first. Yeah, I hope to do some with coffee. Yeah, I think we'll do serious damage on that record. Davido, looking forward to working with Davido as well. You know, and for me, I might go some of the weirdest places, like in terms of choosing who to work with and who I'd like to collab with, because I don't like to be on what is trending and what is common or what is expected. You know, sometimes I like to do things that shouldn't work because there's another fulfillment from that accomplishment when it does work. Well, I just like to say, you know, thanks to everybody who have supported me over the years. You know, all my really, really, really loyal fans, and you know, thanks to Jamaican people who show me love when I'm on the street, when they do run into me and didn't know that I'm I'm actually from here. You know, thanks to everybody, members of my team, you know, the whole UFA, Ultra Sony, the whole team, you know, who have been a part of this journey. I'm looking forward to many more like this. You know, thanks to you and your team for this wonderful interview, most definitely. And I wish for you God's richest blessings. Yeah, and continued success. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're great.
Hope you liked our video. If so, subscribe. Don't forget the bell for notifications and give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you're thinking by writing a comment or visit IFETOP10.com for more entertainment news. Thanks for watching.